Hey guys, Talking Dave over here, the dorky talking black guy that's just trying to get by. And welcome to another edition of Street Fighter Flashbacks. In celebration of the 30-year anniversary of Street Fighter, I'm taking it upon myself to share my memories of playing the arcade and console games at that period of time, and as well review and give my thoughts on other Street Fighter related media. So, in continuing with talking about Street Fighter 3 New Generation, in my previous video, I established a lot of the characters, right? But I didn't establish the game setting and the feeling of the game. Or did I establish the overall plot of the game? You see, while I also went into those characters, there's one person that I didn't touch upon, and that is the boss character, Gil, whom is a demigod, right, from the Illuminati. Yes, the Illuminati. The thing that everyone's been talking about is like, underground society and cult. This was actually my introduction to the Illuminati, to be honest with you, because everyone started getting on the Illuminati 10 years later. Now, I was introduced to Street Fighter 3, and basically, I read in a library that someone told me about, yeah, the Illuminati is kind of like a bit of a worldwide myth. Go fig. Anywho, Gil actually is trying to create a new utopia of the strongest people of the world, hence the fighters and everything. And Gil encountered a guy named Tom, whom is like an ex-military operative, and beat the ever crap out of him. And Tom's primary student and primary protege, Alex, the lead character of the series, is really pissed and wants vengeance against basically the guy that beat the crap out of Tom. So, yeah, Street Fighter 3 is mostly a vengeance story, right? However, if you kind of look back at how Alex is and this story, does this kind of remind you of Guile and Vega? Well, basically, like I said, even though Alex is more modeled after Hulk Hogan, Alex was supposed to be not only the face of Street Fighter 3, but, it kind of verifies that Guile was supposed to be a more predominant character or more of a lead character in the Street Fighter series, right? However, with the popularity of Chun-Li and everyone liking Ryu and Ken more, it seems like Capcom wanted to take that storyline and make it forefront and make it a little bit easier. And another thing with Street Fighter 3 is that while this is the third World Warrior tournament, this one actually really exemplifies the streets. You have this with Alex being the primary character, unlike the disciplined martial artist that learns techniques and everything. Alex has a lot of physical training, huge muscle sizes and everything, and basically rough punches and kicks. Not as his techniques are not as refined as a trained martial artist. However, he is more concerned with beating the crap out of you in any means necessary. Hence, the way a street fight normally is. Sean, the protege of Ken, supposedly, he is actually in New Generation, the first game. He is fighting in the streets of New York as well. Actually, he's supposed to be fighting in Times Square and everything, which gives that real gritty feel of everything. Dudley, the English upper class nobleman and everything, his stage, you don't see him fighting in some mansion or in some boxing ring with a bunch of spectators. You actually see him fighting on the streets of London. Hell, in that game, someone actually said, "Yo, that guy in the mohawk in the background, isn't that Birdie?" And everyone had to tell them no, because Birdie was huge, and while from Street Fighter 1 he was white and Street Fighter 0 he was black, it was clear that this character was not Birdie, because Birdie was huge and everything and tall. This guy was short and skinny. But you have Dudley fighting on the streets of London, and not in some Wall Street area. He actually looked like he was in, yes, he looked like he was in Trinity area, but not the Wall Street area. He looked like he was in the underground area, or the New York City, what the East Village kind of was. Basically, somewhat trendy, but more for artists and more for grounded people and all. All right, you have Elena, the capoeira stylist, directly from Africa. She's fighting on a bridge, and after you beat the first round, you see her actually fighting in the village. The what most of the world views like the streets of Africa, a tribal village and everything. Hey, it sounds stereotypical, I know, but I don't know if it's that way or not. But from what I've seen, Africa doesn't really have streets except for a city, and even in a city, streets don't look like the streets that they do here. So, go fit, Hey, Necro, of all people, he's on a train, Well, it's a military scientific train, but the dude is on the go and everything. And while it's a military train, it's still stationary and still has a bit of a feel of the subway and all. Hence, subways having a very city feel, and hence you're fighting in the subway. So, on a train. So, Street Fighter 3, and you're fighting in Hong Kong on the Hong Kong streets when you choose actually basically yin and yang. Heck, and not only you fight on the streets, you fight on the street, or you're fighting in an antique shop, someone's store. Very street-like and everything. So, definitely, Street Fighter 3, you're hitting the streets more so. And you're seeing this basically in the stages and with the attitudes of the characters, For me, the gameplay was excellent. People complained that it felt weird playing this compared to Alpha and Street Fighter 2. And for me, I was like, it's supposed to feel different. This is a different game. This is a different beast all its own. You're not going to, play the characters like you would, you were not going to play Alex. You were not going to utilize and play Alex like you would with Zangief. You were not going to use Dudley like you would use Balrog. Different characters, different people, different settings. And speaking about different settings, one setting that even though I could never do on my own, I respect the hell out of anyone that does this, Street Fighter 3 introduced the parry system, which I feel is a great way of getting around your characters for a 2D game. Instead of just blocking and not having the ability to sidestep, you can actually kind of block, but still be able to actually basically still attack or fend away a particular attack from a person. I loved the graphics of Street Fighter 3 New Generation. The graphics were just, I thought they were huge improvements, from the Street Fighter 2 games, and they actually advanced Street Fighter 0 more so. If there was one complaint that I had about Street Fighter 3, and this is my only complaint about the series as a whole, is the fact that you have to choose one super art. So like Street Fighter 0, you had multiple supers and everything that a character could do, and you could do them but during the fight and everything, especially in EX where you could able to mix them up. You could only focus on one super art, which was a bit of a drag. Now this was not my problem, but a lot of people were complaining that how come we can't do airbound moves and everything. For example, Dio and Ken have the Hurricane Kick. You couldn't do the Hurricane Kick in the air in New Generation. People were complaining about that. And I'm like, dude, I don't care about that. The graphics are cool, you're keeping things grounded, and the characters were interesting. And, I'll be honest, Gil was a pain in the ass to beat. I did not beat Gil in New Generation, at all. He was just way, way OP. And when he had his resurrection move where you finally beat him, but his super meter was up, he's able to come back to life and you have to fight him again. I'm like, what? What a pain in the ass that was, However, despite that, I loved this game. I thought this was a great step in a new direction, and this would to advance the series more so. However, with the lukewarm reception, Street Fighter 3 New Generation did not really grab much of a crowd and everything. Hell, still to this day, it is not shared with as much memory or affection as I'm displaying right now. However, it is an important entry in the Street Fighter series, and things only get better from here with the Street Fighter 3 series. You know, agree? Disagree? Drop me a comment below. Give me a like. Please follow me on Facebook and Twitter in the links below. Subscribe and ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. But until then, this is Token Dave, the dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by. I'll catch you guys later.